What is your American dream?
Well, my American dream is really a global dream. I kind of hoped at my young age that I would have seen the world advance a lot more, and I cry for the young women in Afghanistan who are not allowed to learn and develop themselves and become people, and I cry for the people of Ukraine, and I pray for a world where freedom is for everybody.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome everybody, Thursday, April 28th. You got the Bradshaw Live. You got a Bradshaw Live. You want Bradshaw Live. You got Bradshaw Live.
There you go. All
That's
right.
what I wanted to say, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Yes, we are here.
I'm saying everything, today's backwards day.
It's wacky.
It's wacky.
Wacky World Thursday. So.
Everything's going to be backwards today.
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember when we did
Yes.
on April Fool's, we did the entire show backwards?
Mm-hmm.
About half.
We only did that once.
We did it one time on April Fool's. I don't know if who remembers. On April Fool's was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
We did the whole show backwards. So we started. Right. We started with comments of the day. Then we went to
the piece, and then went to social media check.
Right. We did speed round.
Yeah.
Right?
Speed
and
round.
then we did schmooze at the end.
Yeah. Who remembers that? Who's been here that long? Those are A1 day ones.
Those were A1 day ones. That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder who does remember that. Yeah. Princess Rishma. Backwards day.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if she remembers that, but today is our new backwards day. We're not going to do the show backwards. We're not prepared to do that backwards. But it started off backwards day because I couldn't get the words out.
I got you.
It's one of those days.
All right. Well,
how are you doing?
I'm good. I had a long day, interviewed
I like
a
your
celebrity.
Shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
I
a
like
little
your shirt.
corduroy action.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You look great yourself.
Oh, thank you. You're a handsome man too.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, the squad, beautiful squad.
Beautiful squad.
I check out the squad.
Yes, I do too.
I check them out. Beautiful squad.
Mm-hmm.
I would put our squad against anybody else's squad.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I think if there was a squad beauty pageant, overall we would win. I think we would take it. I think we would take it. All right, let's say hello to everybody. Jessica Clemency, I heard it's your birthday.
Happy birthday!
Woo! Happy birthday, Jessica Clemency. Kavar Harris, number 2 on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Almost. But didn't get it.
Come on. Try a little harder. You got this.
That's right. Daryl Winnabaugh, squad up. How are you? Alcia Stone, squad up, my dear. It's Apple Pie joining us from the beginning. Lisa Bling, squad up, Uncle Brad and Yo-Yo. Cynthia Wallace, squad up. How are you, my dear? And who else? Dip Fab, Cake Affairs, wishing Jessica Clemency happy birthday. Dawn Harriet, squad up. Who else do we see here? Stargirl Mika, we see you watching. Squad up. Dawn Harriet, squad up. How are you? Elizabeth Francis, squad up, my dear. Violet Blackwood. Who else we see here? Anybody else? Keith Anthony Ben saying squad up. And let's see what's going on YouTube. Kavar Harris, as I said, number 2. Jessica Clemency double fisting. Alcia Stone double fisting. Susie Q Mac.
Hey.
How are you? Cynthia Wallace. Daryl Winnabaugh. Theodore Myers. Alexia Davis Solo. Fabuano, squad up team. Paulette. Stephen Naziki. Hello, squad. How are you, Stephen? Anushandra, squad up. Allison Campbell. With a pre-comment of the day, Yo-Yo.
Go ahead.
Big up, squad. I'm so happy the day I started watching your live show. Trust me, you good. I'm always smiling.
Aww.
Please keep up the good work. I salute you, Brad.
Nice.
Pre-comment of the day. Thank you very much.
That was beautiful.
That was. Thank you. Alonka Stevens saying hello, squad. Omugabi Nasamba saying thank you guys for the show. Shan for Life saying hello, squad up. She's a new subby or a newbie?
New subby, Mr. Brad. Maybe
Squatty.
Yes,
Sham
for life.
Squatty.
What's
She's
up?
here for life now.
Yeah.
And she's here for life as well.
Yes, a squad for life.
Yes.
That's what you got to change it from sham for life for squad for life.
I like that. Yeah. Lisa Ling, squad up. Wilfredo Diaz, squad up. Colonel 313. Wonder what happened to 313. Is that a paragraph in the Bible? Is that something that happened at 313?
You gotta ask.
I don't know what Colonel 313 means. Wilma Jean Gibson saying hello. Roxanne Ben, squad up. Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys all to throw in your questions in the comment section right now. The earlier, the better. I say this every day. The earlier, the better. We're going to get through those questions during social media check-in. And also, please throw this video everywhere. All right? Press that little share button, that little arrow. Share it to any and everybody because we're about to start schmoozing, talking the latest headlines, including yesterday's celebration of the late Madeleine Albright, the nation's first female Secretary of State who arrived in the U.S. as a young girl from war-torn Czechoslovakia and embodied the American dream. And it is time to span the world for Wacky World News, which will take us to several different countries, including Iceland, where a 12-year-old Big Mac from McDonald's is proudly being displayed in a museum. 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. I hope that museum is free.
Yeah.
And of course, you can call Spar and Bernstein 1-800-529-5465 because quite frankly, they're going to charge you $10 to go in the museum.
Yeah.
You can go into your local McDonald's and get a Big Mac.
But there's no McDonald's in Iceland. It's banned.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have it. Which should tell you something, y'all.
I don't know. And of course, you can call Spar Bernstein 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. That's the telephone number to call to get on our show. Hint, hint. We do have a few open lines, very few left. And in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes from now, we will be taking your legal questions. So call right now to get in the queue. 1-800-529-5465. Later in the show, I will speak with Kitti Murray, founder of Refuge Coffee Company in Clarkston, Georgia. Refuge Coffee Company in Clarkston, Georgia. And one of her employees, Somoyyah Masqudi, about what it's like working and serving a community so diverse. It's known as the Ellis Island of the South.
Nice.
All right, you ready, Schmooze?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, all week long, Secretary of Homeland Security Alexander Mayorkas has been testifying before Congress. They're discussing the budget for the Department of Homeland Security. They're also discussing the state of the border between Mexico and the United States. And of course, now not only Republicans starting to knock Mayorkas, but some Democrats are also starting to knock him as well, as the potential surge of migrants is building up on the southern border. Democratic Representative Greg Stanton of Arizona told Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas during a House panel hearing, "It is clear to me that the federal government is not prepared, not even close." Now, the hearing is coming as the administration is facing increasing criticism from Republicans, from Democrats, from many people about their approach to ending Title 42. We've talked about it here a lot. Title 42 basically stopped anybody from applying for asylum at the southern border, and if they did, they had to be returned to their home country. It was a result of the pandemic, the idea being that we don't want to allow people to come into the United States who potentially could cause a larger pandemic of COVID. Mm-hmm. But it was quite hypocritical because airplanes were flying, people were coming in from Canada, people were flying in from Canada, people were coming in from all over the world at all various different times. Sometimes countries were banned, but for the most part, people were traveling in and out of the United States. And of course now that the pandemic is supposedly more under control, and we have therapeutics, we have vaccines, we have robust testing. The fear of a COVID influx across the border is much less when weighed against the threat to people if they were to return to their homeland, or the threat of living in tent city on the Mexican border. So with all of that, President Biden said, you know what, we'll go to the old laws. It's not like he's making up new laws. Going back to the old laws pre-pandemic, where if you have a claim for asylum, you can go to the border, make a claim, be interviewed. If you pass a credible fear interview, you get to come into the United States, not have to live in a tent on a border, and wait for your hearing in the United States of America, like a human being.
Right.
Just like a human being. Now, Mayorkas has maintained, in response to all of the stuff that was thrown at him today from both Democrats and Republicans about opening up the border, he maintained in response that part of the planning, including bolstering capacity of non-profit organizations and coordinating with city, local, and state officials, he said the federal government will be prepared and our plan is comprehensive. Now, at the hearing, it got a little disgusting towards the end, Jonathan. A Republican lawmaker slammed the Biden administration's immigration policies, questioning of Mayorkas at times, leading almost to racial stereotyping who was coming across the border. Republican Representative Ken Buck, a Colorado Republican, he criticized Mayorkas for reversing Trump-era immigration policies and claimed Americans were frustrated with, quote, Spanish-speaking children in schools. They are, quote, frustrated with immigrants getting care in hospitals, and, quote, getting frustrated with wages that are being suppressed by the mass influx of laborers. Are you ashamed for what you have done to this country? And Mayorkas' response was, in response to what you have just said, it is so profoundly offensive on so many levels, in so many different regards, I won't even ask you for an apology. And quite frankly, you know, immigrants don't get care in hospitals unless they have medical insurance or unless it's an emergency. I don't know anybody who wants people dying in the streets.
Right.
Okay. Spanish-speaking children do go to school. Also, children who speak many languages go to schools. They get taught English, and then they get brought into an English classroom.
Right.
It's been like that for decades and decades and decades. I don't know where the frustration level is there. And, of course, wages being suppressed by mass influx of laborers. That's been debunked by economist after economist after economist. Just not true. Laborers are coming in to fill jobs that Americans just don't want. Working in farms, working in meat factories. We have a shortage of truckers. We can go on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
Any event, moving on, Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State, you mentioned it in the opening. She was laid to rest today. Albright died on March 23rd. So she has been almost a month now, a little over a month.
A little over.
Yeah, before they buried her. She died March 23rd at age 84 after a fight with cancer, leaving a legacy as a defender of democracy, human rights, and peace. More than 1,400 people, each wearing a face mask, at the request of the Albright family, were in attendance. President Biden eulogized Albright at the funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. He called her a force of nature who, through goodness, grace, humanity, and intellect, turned the tide of history. Biden, former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, described how Albright urged other women to interrupt, and how, despite her small stature, she wasn't afraid to stand up to America's biggest adversaries.
I love that.
Bill Clinton, who nominated Albright as the 64th Secretary of State shortly after his 1996 re-election, recalled in his last conversation with Albright 2 weeks before she died, he asked her how she was feeling but she was more interested in talking about the future of the world in light of the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. She said the only thing that really matters is what kind of world we're going to leave to our grandchildren. Bill Clinton said he will never forget that conversation as long as I live. She's on her deathbed. This is what she's saying to Bill Clinton.
Wow.
So rest in peace,
that shows
Madeleine
what type
Albright.
of woman she was.
Yeah. By the way, she was not born in the United States of America. She was, in fact...
From Czechoslovakia.
She was from Czechoslovakia. She was born in Prague in 1937, and she was born into a Jewish family. And in order to save their child, the story goes, they dropped her off at a Roman Catholic orphanage.
Wow.
She posed as a Roman Catholic, finally started growing up as a Roman Catholic because she posed as a Roman Catholic as a very young girl. So that's what she grew up learning, the religion she grew up learning. She ultimately converted to Roman Catholicism, but the parents who dropped her off at that orphanage who hid this Jewish girl as a Roman Catholic, saved her life.
Yeah.
And look at the life that she ended up living and doing. She ultimately was a Roman Catholic and converted and everything, but it's a very unique story. She ultimately immigrated to the United States of America. Three of her grandparents all died in the Holocaust.
Wow.
Right. So she is intimately familiar with genocide in Europe.
Sure. Yeah.
So, quite frankly, what goes around comes around. And although President Biden and some others are calling what is going on in the Ukraine genocide at the moment, there's certainly a lot of killing. It could be genocide. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see. And this is Biden this week. I found this very interesting, Jonathan. President Biden used his clemency and pardon powers this week for the first time. And if you remember, Donald Trump, he used that pardon and clemency. He used it a lot.
Throwing it out like Snickers.
Yeah. Now, do you know, by the way, the difference between a pardon and a clemency?
No.
Okay, so a pardon is after you did your sentence, and you're now out of jail. You were convicted, you're out of jail, you did your sentence, you did your time, you're now living your life. You ask for a pardon to have that erased off your record.
Oh, to have it erased.
A clemency is you are currently in jail.
Gotcha.
And you're asking to be released early. That's the difference. So when people say clemency, pardon, there is a difference.
But with clemency, it's not erased off your...
No, it's just you get it correct.
Okay.
Now, presumably he can do a clemency and then do a pardon.
Could you do that?
You could, presumably. There's no reason why you can't.
You're a lucky person.
But there is a difference between the two.
Got you. Now I get it.
Now Biden gave clemency to 75 drug offenders and issued 3 pardons this week. First time he's used that power. He said in a statement that those receiving clemency had demonstrated their commitment to rehabilitation and are striving every day to give back and contribute to their communities. Now, all 75 people who received commutations were nonviolent drug offenders, many of whom were serving sentences on home confinement because of the threat of coronavirus pandemic. Almost a third of those who benefited from the clemency would have received a lesser sentence if they were charged today. So they were all charged under harsher drug penalty laws from decades earlier. Now, what a difference between Pumpkin and Biden.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the few people that Biden helped this week.
Okay.
All right. Abraham Bolden Sr., he was 86 years old, from Chicago. He was the first black Secret Service agent to serve on a presidential detail. In 1964, he faced a federal bribery charge that he attempted to sell a copy of a Secret Service file. Now, he said he was innocent. He maintains his innocence.
What?
He said that a key witness had lied at the prosecutor's request in the 1960s. He was denied a retrial. He was served in a massive amount of time in prison.
What?
He protected John F. Kennedy. That's how long ago this was. Now, and he says that he maintains his innocence, and he says he was targeted in retaliation for speaking out against racism.
How was he still in there?
He was still facing, he was not in prison anymore.
He wasn't? When did he get out then?
But this happened in the 1960s.
Okay.
Okay.
I was about to say.
Yeah. 60, 69. So he was probably one of the people who got a pardon.
Yeah.
Okay. Betty Jo
84
Bogans.
years old.
She was 51 years old from Houston, Texas. She received a 7-year sentence after being convicted in 1998 of possession with intent to distribute crack cocaine.
Oh.
Now, at the time of her conviction, she was a single mother, no prior record, and she was basically an accomplice in a car with her boyfriend. She took responsibility. The boyfriend escaped justice. And in the decades since her release from prison, she has had no record. She has accepted responsibility. She has consistent employment, even while undergoing cancer treatment.
Oh, wow.
She got a pardon.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you one more.
Okay.
Dexter Jackson, 52, of Athens, Georgia. He was convicted in 2002 for using his pool hall to facilitate the trafficking of marijuana. Since his release, Jackson has converted his business into a cell phone repair service. He hires local high school students through a program that seeks to provide young adults with work experience. He says he made a mistake. He acknowledged that he did it. And the White House said Jackson has also worked to build and renovate homes in the community that lacks quality, affordable housing.
Nice.
He got a pardon. Let's compare that to the first few pardons that Donald Trump gave.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, Donald Trump gave one of his first pardons on August 25th, 2017 to Sheriff Joseph Arpaio.
Oh, gosh.
Who was in contempt of court. He is a racist sheriff out in Arizona who was accused of basically racism and contempt of court and an anti-immigrant bigot. Disgraced his next pardon. I just want to compare the first three pardons of...
Yeah, and the three that you had said.
Yeah, was disgraced former police commissioner Bernard Carrick. He was serving 48 months in jail for obstructing the administration of the Internal Revenue Service, basically filing false tax returns. And of course, on November 25th, 2020, he also pardoned disgraced former General Michael Flynn for lying about his contacts with Russia and perhaps even selling secrets to the Russians.
Very different.
All his cronies.
Exactly.
All his cronies.
That's sick.
Versus, I mean, we can go on. George Papadopoulos, disgraced former campaign aide, Trump pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Roger Stone, disgraced former campaign aide. He pardoned Jared Kushner's father, Charles, who was in jail for tax fraud. All people who really deserved. Paul Manafort. All people who deserved the pardon. And of course, yesterday, Russia and the United States, not of course, it's actually surprising. Russia and the United States carried out an unexpected prisoner exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the deal involved Trevor Reed, an American in prison for nearly 3 years. His story is that he went to go visit his girlfriend, and they went out to a party. He got drunk, and he and the girlfriend had a fight. Mm-hmm. They were yelling and screaming at each other. The girlfriend called the police. The police arrested him, and when they found out he was a former U.S. military, they held him in jail indefinitely over yelling.
That's so scary.
Yes, because he was yelling. I mean, obviously they were having some sort of argument, but there was no evidence ever that there was actually domestic assault or anything like that. At the other end, so it was a prisoner swap with him and a Russian by the name of Konstantin Yurishenko. He's a Russian pilot accused of drug trafficking, cocaine, and was
That's
serving
actual crime.
Right, and was serving a 20-year federal sentence. The way they did it, it was like right out of a movie. I don't know if you saw how they did it. It was like literally out of a movie, like a Tom Cruise movie.
Where they like
they flew
in?
a plane. The Russians and the Americans flew a plane into a deserted airport, in Turkey. The planes pulled up next to each other, and Trevor Reed walked out of one plane.
Wow.
The Russian Konstantin Yushchenko walked out of another plane.
One.
They both went into separate planes. Both planes took off, and they were back in their home countries.
I think they could have thrown in Brittany, the WNBA basketball player as well.
Brittany is still in prison.
They could have thrown her in there.
Yeah, she's looking at 10 years in jail.
That's insane.
And there's another American also that's getting press about being unlawfully detained in jail by the name of Paul Whelan. He's also a former Marine, and he was charged with espionage. The United States says that is absolutely not true. So there are two more Americans, at least, in Russian jails. The thing with doing the swipe is that the more people see that the United States is willing to swipe prisoners, the more likely it is that Americans who go to countries that don't have robust justice systems like Russia have potential of getting arrested on bogus charges just so they can have a pawn to swap with somebody who's in an American jail. You know what I mean? And coronavirus, we haven't talked about it all week, Yo-Yo. It still exists. According to a new report released Tuesday, more than half of Americans show signs of a previous infection. Almost 60% of Americans now have had COVID.
Oof.
Yes. And more than 75% of children have had COVID. And that is a big jump from December, when less than 50% of Americans had COVID. And less than 45% of children had COVID. And it's all because of Omicron.
Right.
So thank you, Omicron. I guess the good news is that maybe we're reaching herd immunity. I hope.
I hope so too.
Yeah. And you should say thank God I don't live in Beijing.
Why?
Because out of a city of 20 million people, they tested everybody. They found 29 cases and locked everyone down.
Oh, sheesh.
Yep. And 29 cases were detected in 24 hours.
Sheesh.
They decided to lock everybody down.
Oh, they're not playing.
They're not playing there. So be happy you're in New York. All right, let's get to wacky news.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go around the world. All right, in one of our most nauseating Wacky World stories, Jonathan, in Iceland, a 12-year-old Big Mac from McDonald's is being displayed in a museum. And despite being made a long time ago, it looks like it's brand new.
That's disgusting. That's the nasty part.
Yes, the story of the burger starts in 2009 when, I can't pronounce his name, Hojuter Smarsasin. I don't even know if that's his name, but I got close. He bought himself a Big Mac on the last day that the last McDonald's was open in Iceland. He forgot to eat it. He left it in his garage, and while moving years later, he found the Big Mac meal.
Oh my gosh.
No mice got to it, no bugs got to it.
Is
It did not
nasty.
decompose. It looked exactly
That's crazy.
It looked exactly the same as it did.
That's so bad.
Can you imagine if it looks exactly the same as it did years later, what it would be like in your stomach?
Yes.
Right? So what he did, he decided he had an historical artifact from the country's last McDonald's, and he should bring it to a museum. And he did. It is now residing in the National Museum of Iceland. Now, ultimately, the museum feared it could not prevent the food from decomposing, so it moved it to the bus hostel in Reykjavik. I don't know why the bus hostel in Reykjavik would be able to not decompose, but that's where it is now. And after spending years on display there, guests can now see it at the Snotra House in southern Iceland, and an unlikely testament to fast food's enduring place in the world. McDonald's claims, I'll tell you McDonald's,
what
that you
they
know what
say.
everyone's thinking.
Uh-huh.
All right? God knows what the hell they got in this burger
Right.
and french
What they
fries.
say.
They claim that the burger and fries last this long. It's not a Big Mac deal. The company says the food hasn't decomposed because it's all about their cooking process. BS.
It is not real meat, y'all.
Okay? There's no cooking process. It's heat.
Yes.
Okay? What special cooking process do you have?
We're not buying it.
It's heat. It's heat. There's no special moisture in your fire and your oven. Come on.
We ain't buying it.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think it's not rotting because they have a lot of preservatives in there.
Yes, that's
I
disgusting.
mean, you ever eat 2 Big Macs? You're sick for days.
Man,
you are
could
sick for
imagine?
days.
Could you imagine?
That's gross.
That's nasty.
Now, that's what I was saying before. I'm like, they're charging you $10 to go see this quarter
Right.
pounder. You know what? Just have your friends in another country mail you a quarter pounder.
Right. We know
Big
that'll be
Mac,
immortal.
whatever it is.
Yeah, no.
That's gross. I'm sick now.
Yeah, I low-key feel a little nauseous.
Yeah, I'm a little nauseous now. I wish we had tea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for anybody who wants to get out of Dodge, there's a remote post office opening. They're looking for a postal worker in Antarctica.
Okay.
Yeah, the post office at Port Lockroy, also known as the Penguin Post Office.
What?
It's a popular tourist destination on Goodyear Island, just off the west side of the Antarctic Peninsula. It gets 18,000 visitors a year. It has a post office. They're looking for a postal worker.
Okay.
They're short on postal workers.
They can't
in
use
Port
one of the
Lockroy,
penguins?
Antarctica.
I've used one of the penguins.
Now you can. It's a good gig because you get to go see a part of the world you don't get to see often.
Yeah.
Except it's on average 23 degrees below Fahrenheit. It could feel much colder with the wind chill.
Oh, hell no.
There's no cell service. There's no internet service.
Gosh.
And everybody on the staff, or maybe even in the town, shares one toilet. Nope, they share an outhouse. There is no toilet. There's no running water. There's no showers.
You're not selling this job description.
But if you need
too
a
well.
job, they're really looking for somebody.
Oh, no wonder.
If you believe the world's coming to an end,
Then go there.
then go there.
Yeah.
Me-
Would you do it for like a day? Just like, just to do a little like,
I'm gonna be-
like those,
I-
what, did Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie have that show where
yeah.
they like did jobs for like a week or something?
Yeah, if they want to pay me millions of dollars to be on TV and do the simple
Right,
for a day,
right.
sure.
I think that'd be kinda fun.
Other than that, maybe I'd be a tourist there for a day and look at the
Yeah.
penguins. I always
Right.
wanted to see the penguins.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid
But I don't know if
of
I want to work in
penguins.
the postal service there.
Yeah.
And finally, an anonymous worker who spent 20 years on a super yacht industry has recounted eyebrow-raising tales of the Times of London in an article titled Confessions of a Super Yacht Insider. See what confessions they have.
Okay.
All right. According to an industry insider, one super yacht's crew dressed themselves in designer clothes that had been thrown away by its owner after he wore them just once. The worker said the owner couldn't understand the need for wardrobes in his master suite, stating, "I buy it, I wear it, I throw it away." They continued, it helped to explain why the crew aboard his yacht were all scrubbing decks dressed in Armani cashmere jumpers. But I have a question. How does the crew fit this guy's clothes? You buy that story? Because they would have to fit everyone on the crew would have to fit that same guy's clothes.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if I buy that story.
I don't know.
I don't know if I buy that. The super yacht worker writing in the Times also detailed the story of a crew that prepared fresh lobster for their yacht's owner every day, regardless of whether he was on the yacht or not. They just didn't know when he was going to show up. And when he did show up, he demanded lobster.
Oh.
Sounds like somebody I know next to me.
Yes.
Every time Jonathan comes to the office, he says to me, "Where's my lobster?" And I said, "Sir, you are definitely working in the wrong place."
Yes, because guess what? I
we
never get it.
We don't have lobster here at
never get
Bradshaw
it.
Live.
Never
he never
get it.
gets it.
Yeah.
But every day you come to me about that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I know my worth, y'all.
I said, you're working in the wrong place. And separately, a super yacht captain told The Guardian that employees aboard a wealthy Russian's super yacht were forced to take lie detector tests to prove they'd kept confidential information a secret. The employees were also banned from taking photos or making drawings of this super yacht. Would you, to work on a super yacht, would you be willing to take a lie detector test?
No.
No. I'd say screw you.
Yes. No.
Russian oligarch.
Exactly.
Take your yacht and shove it up your tuchus.
Yeah.
That's what I would
I
say.
agree.
All right, that's our Wacky World News,
All
Jonathan. And in this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about active review, deportation, filing for family in Afghanistan, and work visas. Let's watch. Without being a smart ass, actively reviewing a case means exactly what it says. They're actively reviewing it. I'm sure you'll get a decision soon. Good luck. Not true. I know lots of people who have U.S. citizen children who got deported. I know many people who have U.S. citizen children who are allowed to stay. It's on a case-by-case basis, but to make a blanket statement that if you have a child, you're not getting deported, just not true. Unfortunately, you can't file for your parents or your brothers until you're a U.S. citizen. The only people you can file for as a permanent resident is a spouse or unmarried children. There is no work visa for anybody in the world, from any country in the world, with just a high school diploma, unless it's going to be some sort of seasonal work on an H-2B visa. Otherwise, you're going to need a college degree. And potatoes time! It is time for me to answer your immigration questions. Let's do it. All right, Sarah in Moreno Valley, California. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good,
Thank
good.
you
What's
for
going on?
taking my call. Okay, I am U.S. citizen, and I applied for my brother in Iran. It's for 15 years now. We received a notice from National Visa Center last year that just wait for hear from the consular office, which is in Ankara. But I noticed that his only daughter is got removed from application due to she's
21.
over 21.
Right.
Yeah. So is there anything we can do?
Well, there's something the Child Status Protection Act, and she gets to be added the time it took for the I-130 visa petition to get approved. So my question to you, I can try to calculate it with you now if you can give me some generalities. How long did the I-130 visa petition take to get approved?
2 years.
Oh, that's a short time. How old is this young girl now?
She's 23 now.
Oh, okay. So she had until age 23. Did you pay? Were you able to pay the fees? The fee
all
bills?
The fees.
You paid? Did you
all
pay
the
Did
fees.
you pay the fee bills
all,
for the? Did you pay the fee bills for her too?
Yes.
Okay.
If you paid all of them to the last penny.
If you paid all the fee bills and the priority date was reached before she turned 21 years, and plus whatever time it took the I-130 to get approved, the priority date was reached.
I don't know that.
Okay, so that's what we need to calculate. So if you can show me, if you were able to show me the approved I-130 visa petition and proof when the fee bills were paid, I can figure out if they made a mistake or not. But it's going to be very close.
Okay, and I want to ask you that, what about when, for example, we had to wait 4 years? One of my brothers, he's here already, but he had an interview in 2016, and Donald Trump came and stopped everything, and they had to stay 4 years. But here,
where is he now?
Making those calculations.
Where is he now?
Who? My brother already came here, but I'm just saying that since they stopped because of my country, Iran, they stopped people come since 2016. They're not going to do this calculation for this kid, and they just say, oh, they're 21 and they cannot come.
It's again, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump stopping or starting. It's How long did the I-130 take to get approved? Did you pay the fee bills for this child,
All of
which you did?
Yes.
Was the priority date current?
Okay.
Okay, so
I
we
go ahead and check that
we
out.
got to figure it all out, or you can figure it out yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I checked. So it has to be 21 before all this stuff.
That's not what I said.
They
Have a consultation. Hold on. That's not what I said. What I said was I-130 takes 2 years, whatever, 2 years, 2 months, 2 years, 3 months, 2 years, 6 months, 21 plus the time it took the I-130 to get approved. You get to that age. By that time, did the priority date become current? Did you pay the fee bills? If the answer is yes to both, she's under the Child Status Protection Act. Let's go to Angela in Daytona Beach, Florida. Angela.
Hello, good.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening. I'm good. I have a question. I was married to an American citizen. He wasn't living in the States. He's living in the Virgin Islands. When we got married, the pandemic hit. He didn't come back at all for 2 years.
Right.
When he came back, we went on the interview and we get turned down.
Right.
Because he did.
You weren't living together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he refused. He refused to reapply for me. Mm-hmm. So and he didn't come back at all after the interview. So I just go ahead and divorce. Is it possible that I can remarry?
Yes. You could. You're allowed to fall in love, fall out of love, fall back in love. The only time when you have a problem in that scenario is if on the first marriage, the U.S. government accused you of being in a fraudulent marriage. There's a difference between the government says you committed a fraud versus the government says you haven't proven to a sufficient level that you are in a bona fide marriage. Because I've said it many times and I'll say it again just so you understand. Okay? There's 3 types of marriages. There is a marriage where there's a marriage certificate and there's no relationship. There's a marriage where you have a marriage certificate, you're in a relationship with the man, which is basically what you're describing. There's a relationship that you have with him, but you're living apart. You're living separate lives. Maybe you see each other sometimes, maybe you don't. Maybe he comes to visit, maybe he comes once a month, maybe you don't see him at all. And then there's the third type of marriage. And then the third type of marriage, which is the approvable marriage, the bona fide marriage, that's the marriage where you live together and you have a financial relationship. That's what the government wants to see. Now, in any one of those 3 marriages, you could have been married and not committing marriage fraud and had a relationship but never had that bona fide marriage. That's different than the government says, we are convinced that you paid this man to marry you.
Okay.
So as long as it's not, we're convinced you paid this man to marry you, then you can get divorced and marry again.
Okay, so Dad gave me 90 days to get out of the country, but
nobody's bothering you. That's a worthless letter. No one's coming for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very
welcome.
much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Let's go to Kofi in Millbury, Massachusetts.
Hi. So I have 2 questions. One, I am a U.S. citizen in my 30s. My parents got married traditionally, but when I was 11 years. Do they still qualify for me to file I-130 for them to the U.S.?
Yes, and they don't have to be married for you to file for them. You can file for each one of them separately, as long as they're your parents. Now, if the father and your mother were not in a civil marriage, it was just a traditional marriage, there's additional burdens that you need to prove on your father's case.
Right.
All right, so for your mother, you just have to prove she's your biological mother. For your father, you have to prove he's your biological father, plus you had a relationship with him as a child. So because they were not married, there's some additional burdens of facts that you have to prove to get his case approved. But because they're not married, doesn't prevent you from doing it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
The second question is, at what step of the I-130 application process can one submit the written statement of the marriage event in the absence of the marriage certificate?
You don't have to. You just fill out a form, says, is the beneficiary married? And the answer is no, she's not. Unless you're either married or you're not married.
I am married.
Not you. You're talking about your parents.
Yeah, they are still married.
They're not married. You just told me they're not. It's a traditional marriage. It's not a civil marriage in your country.
No, but traditional marriage is one of the marriages.
I don't know what country you're from, and I don't know the laws of your country. So it's either they're married or they're not married. But I answered it both ways.
Yeah, so they said in the request, if in the absence of such a marriage certificate evidence, we are required to submit 2 written statements of people who witnessed.
Was there
the
a
event.
marriage or there's no marriage?
It was a marriage.
So then get 2 affidavits from people saying they're married. Doesn't make a difference on the case.
Yeah, right, I have it. My point is, at what step of the application process or the filing process do I have to submit
now
that?
they just asked you for it. You need help. Hold on. Let's go to Elise in Long Island.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Uncle Brad. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, quick question. I went Turkey and I applied for a work permit and advance parole. Yesterday I got a Cumber card. Is that the only thing that I need to travel out of the country?
If it says advance parole authorized on the bottom of that work permit, just travel with that in your passport.
Just that on my passport? Yep. Okay. The other question is, about a year and 3 months, my husband filed for my daughter, and I still haven't received anything, no updates on anything on her case. She's in Jamaica.
Yeah. It's Jamaica is what they say in Jamaica, donkey years these days.
Donkey years.
Donkey
so
years.
You have any idea how long it will take?
Probably close to 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to Leanne in Seattle. Leanne in Seattle. Going once, Leanne. Going twice, Leanne. All right. Put my coffee cup down. Let's get to Mike in the Bronx. Mike.
Hey, good afternoon, Brad Squad.
How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I got a question to ask, but first I got to congratulate you on the help you have given to us. Today, for my citizenship, my case was updated for me to get a swearing date.
Oh, congratulations. I'm happy.
But my question, because my case was a little bit complicated, because with my previous wife, so my current wife right now, I had a kid with her when I was married to my previous wife. So I had to go through a spokes interview, then they waited like 5 years for me to get my green card.
All right, so it's all, but you're going to get sworn in now, so it all worked out. Good for you.
Yes. Well, my question is, for my second wife, she's undocumented. I want to file for her. Should I wait until I get my
wait until you get
naturalization card?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to get sworn in the next couple of weeks, just wait, and then you'll file an adjustment for her.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you.
Right,
appreciate that. Cool.
All right, let's go to Cecil in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Cecil.
Yes, good evening, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks much for receiving me. 2019, I came to the United States. I've received my green card and stuff, but one of my daughter, she's over 21 now. She's 22, but she came with me in June 2019.
With a green card?
No, without. Yeah, she came on a visitor visa.
Okay.
Just met me. And my son put through everything, and I'm straight now. But my other son, which is 10 years old, and my daughter is under 21, I put in a petition for the I-130 for them. But I'm not able to do nothing for my big daughter. Is there anything you see?
File an I-130 for her as well. Even though she overstayed, it'll take about 5-6 years, assuming she's unmarried, and then she'll have to do a provisional waiver, go home, and come back. Better than nothing.
That's the only way.
Unless she falls in love, unless the laws change. Yeah.
What if when the time comes for me to get my citizenship, can I still file for her?
Yes, but it's still faster to do it now.
Or to do it this way?
Do it now. It's faster.
Okay, so I would still have to file one. I want her to file.
Do it now. It's faster. If you do
All
it
right.
now and it takes 5 to 6 years, or you wait 5 to 6 years to become a citizen and then do it, and then wait another 5 to 6 years, it goes to say that now it's faster.
Okay, but if she did it this way, she would have to go back to Jamaica, right?
But she has to do a provisional waiver first. It's very safe as long as you do the provisional waiver, go home and come back.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
File for her now.
I'll talk to you
Worry
about
about it in
All
5
right.
years. That's my answer.
I'm
Okay.
going to talk to you about it, okay?
Okay.
After here.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's go to Azia in Sunrise, Florida. Azia,
Hello.
how are you?
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing, Brad?
Good.
All right. I got a couple of questions I want to ask you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But as the guy said before, thank you for the information that you've been
My
providing
pleasure.
to and your
My
partner,
pleasure.
okay?
My pleasure.
I'm a United States citizen, and I filed for 4 children, 2 biological and 2 stepchild.
Were
two stepchildren.
your
They're in-
stepchildren? How old are they?
All right, the stepchildren, one is 12 and one is 9.
You're married.
But I filed,
You're married to the mother.
yes, most definitely.
When did you marry the mother?
I'm married to the mother. Today is my anniversary, my 3rd year anniversary.
Okay, so you
2019.
right, so fine. So you married the mother before when the 19-year-old was like 16.
Yeah.
So the
thereabouts.
answer is yes. You can file for all of them.
No, I filed for them already.
Okay, so then what's the question?
I filed for them since September 2019.
So what's the
which
question
was a
then?
priority date. And then they approved them since 2021 by NVC. From 2021
So your question is,
September,
where's
but
their
up
green
until
card?
now,
You haven't heard anything.
we haven't heard anything for
Where are they
interview
from?
date.
Where are they from?
They're in Jamaica.
It's donkey years.
Pardon me?
Donkey years in Jamaica.
Donkey years in Jamaica.
Donkey years in Jamaica. Everybody in Jamaica has the same problem right now.
Wow.
Because the embassy was closed for a very long time because of COVID, they are extraordinarily backed up. And then,
So you're saying-
and then somebody
Go ahead.
texted me. They go, "What do you mean backed up?" I go, "Backed up means backed up. Means that they have tens and tens of thousands of applications to interview, 2 to 3 people to do the interviews."
Yeah, but Jamaica is a small country. Not much people are there coming to the
I
United
know,
States.
but Jamaica is a big country to immigrate to the U.S. I'm just telling you, they're hugely backed up.
Okay.
All right, there's not
Well, let me ask
unless there's an emergency, you just got to wait it out, unfortunately.
you- Okay, well, let me ask you a
And the
question.
reason is this: everybody in Jamaica is claiming an emergency, so everyone can't have an emergency.
No, we do have emergencies for real, because trust me, Jamaica is not a normal place. Trust me, my country, and I'm telling you, it's not a normal
I
place.
understand that, but everybody says the same thing. So you have to have an
Okay.
emergency above and beyond what everybody else has.
I guess you have to prove that, right?
Yeah.
Most definitely. But let me ask you this question though.
What?
Because I'm married to the mom before they became 21 or 18. It doesn't matter if they go over the
Even
age
if they
of
go
8
over,
or
even if
21.
they go over 21, they're still immediate relatives. They don't go on a waiting list.
Okay.
And Jamaica
Okay.
is prioritizing immediate relatives over the F1s. So, being
yeah?
that they're immediate relatives, they should go a little faster than if they
Okay.
were over 21.
Oh, I understand it clearly.
All right?
All right. Next question is this: a visitor, a green card, a B1, B2 visa holder coming from Jamaica, coming to the United States, or maybe just about any country. How long after they enter inside the country can they get married to
90
a
days.
United States?
Day 91.
90 days.
90 days. If you do it before,
what
you're going to
they-
be denied for misrepresentation.
So what say if that person what say if that person is the baby mother? That's what we call it. Like, you know, the girlfriend or the boyfriend of the person that they're married to. Does it make a difference?
Zia, I just told you donkey years. I know everything, what people call everybody in Jamaica. I know what a baby mama is. You explained to me what a baby mama is, and I just told you you're going to wait donkey years, so I know. All right, so what's the
Okay, so
question?
So you're saying if they were together in Jamaica, but he migrated here, and then she came over after
90 days.
and came over.
90
90 days.
90 days.
Okay. That sounds okay.
Okay. Good luck. All right, let's go to Sam in Chicago. Sam.
Hey, Brad. I have a quick question for
Yes.
you. My Wawa recently got approved, like last week,
Right.
and the card was also delivered to my lawyer. But my ex came to know about this. Can she do something that will trouble me getting my green card?
No.
Uh,
She can do
okay.
nothing to
And
you.
what will be the estimate wait time to get my green card after my Wawa approval?
About a year, if you filed the adjustment.
I have already filed, but my I-130 from my previous marriage is still active. So will they use that date?
No. It's from the
got
time
it.
your VAWA is approved, about a year if your adjustment's pending.
Oh, for a year. Okay, about a year. Okay, thank
right.
you.
All
That's
right,
what
good
I wanted to know.
luck. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we have Leanne back. Leanne,
Hi, hello, Brad.
how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. So I'm South African, and I arrived on a B1, B2 visa that was issued in Florence, Italy, in 2013.
Right.
In 2014, I got married to a U.S. citizen. He was abusive. I reported it. He disappeared.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was in and out of court, and the final decision was that my children, then minor, and I were given a 10-year protection order within the civil court of Seattle, King County.
Okay.
And in the criminal court, the prosecutor could not find reasonable doubt, enough evidence to actually prosecute him for actual sexual assault.
Okay.
So fast forwarding in 2015, because it left me kind of devastated, I decided to allow my children to go to their father, who is my ex-husband, and he is German, lives now in
This is
Tanzania.
the abuser? This was the abuser?
Both my first husband, who is German, and the biological father of my children, as well as my American husband. But I reported the American husband in America. And
Did you ever get a green card?
No, nothing.
Are you divorced from the American husband?
Well, this is the problem. He basically, for some reason, started contacting my parents in New Zealand, my friends
Are
in
you
England.
divorced from your husband? It's a simple question. Yes or no?
No.
You are not. Okay. If you are not,
No.
then you do not have a problem. You are an abused spouse.
He found grounds for the marriage to be annulled.
Ma'am.
Or found
you have an
annulled
annulment. Okay. When did
Yes,
he do an annulment?
Soon after he
Where?
was found
Where?
court in
Where?
King County.
Okay.
Seattle.
Were you served with annulment papers?
I can't remember.
Okay. You need to speak.
But it was
Okay.
issued.
You
It was issued without
You-
me
you-
present.
Listen. You need to reopen your annulment. That's part of the abuse pattern, to annul your marriage when there's accusations of sexual abuse, when there's orders of protection. If there is an order of protection for 10 years by a family court judge, it is impossible to get an annulment, because an annulment says the marriage was a fraud. It can't be a fraud if you have an order of protection against the man. So you need to go to a family lawyer in Seattle to reopen that annulment. You also need to file a VAWA case.
I did. In 2018, I was detained in Florida to get away from this guy. I was so intimidated.
Okay.
In Florida, I
Leanne,
was
Leanne, you need help. We're not going to solve it
No,
here.
I'm
I'm not going to solve your
Seattle.
case. Leanne, I'm not going to be able to solve your case here. Hold on. You're going to need help. Okay? Hold on.
My I-60 was denied
Okay. So we're going to do it again. Do it right.
because of this ambivalence.
Because of the annulment?
Yes.
Okay. Because the marriage never occurred. Because he annulled the marriage as if it never occurred, but it did occur because there's an order of protection. So it doesn't jive. Hold on one second, okay? Right?
Okay.
Part of the annulment is the continued abuse by him of you.
Yes, I know.
Hold on.
It
But you need
caused
to
me
listen. But you need to listen sometimes too. You're just okay. So I'm trying to give you advice. All right.
Okay.
So what ultimately we want to do is we want to find a lawyer in Seattle to reopen your annulment. It was unlawfully done, and file a new VAWA case. You're not divorced from him yet. Hold on. Let's go to Godfrey in Stanton, California. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Godfrey.
How are you, sir?
Good.
Yes. I wanted to ask you a question regarding divorce. If I have my ex-wife in a country in Africa, and then I'm here, is it a problem to file the divorce from here when that person is not here? Is it
Well, every state has their own residence requirements for a divorce. So divorce
This is
done.
California.
I understand that. Divorce is done on a state-by-state basis. I don't know what the divorce residence requirements are for California off the top of my head. For example, in New York State, if the marriage didn't happen in New York State, you have to be a resident of New York for 2 years before you start a divorce in New York. My question to you is, how long have you been in California?
Since 2018.
All right, you have the residence requirement. There's no way California is going to say more than 2 years. So you can do a divorce in California.
Okay, and another question is that I went for my asylum interview today.
You went for what?
Asylum interview. I have a pending asylum.
Okay.
I went for the interview today.
Okay.
And from the look, things didn't go well. So do you think it will be okay to withdraw the case before the decision is made?
No, it doesn't. It's not going to make a difference. You might as well see what happens.
Huh?
It will not make a difference. If you withdraw the case, you will be put in removal. If you get denied, you'll be put in removal. It's not going to make a difference. You might as well wait for the decision and see what happens.
Oh, I'll wait for the decision?
Yeah, but if you know it didn't go well, you better figure out another way to get a green card. Because you're going to get deported.
Okay, I'm married.
All right, so then you need help. Hold on 1 second. You're going to need to file an I-130, an adjustment before you get put in removal. And
It's
then
already
withdraw.
filed with 1, is it 485?
Then why did you go? Why did you go on an asylum interview if you're married?
Oh well, you had told me to wait for the receipt notice, but it hasn't yet come, and the date was today.
Okay, so you should have just went and withdrew it.
Sorry?
You should have withdrawn it.
Okay, so
withdraw your asylum now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, I didn't know that you were married when I said wait.
I am married, and I have a baby with my
and you have an
wife.
adjustment pending. You should have withdrawn the asylum case. You shouldn't have even gone through the interview. Withdraw it.
Okay then.
Okay.
Let me withdraw it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, let's go to Shanique in Long Island. Shanique going once. Shanique going twice. Hold on, Shanique. Joan Erica has summed it up, yo-yo. Lord of mercy today, mix-up and blender day.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Joan Erica has summed it up today. Let's go to Addie in Dallas. Addie.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question, please, and I want to say thank you for giving us your services. It's well appreciated.
Okay.
I came in on an F1 visa for a PhD program, which I completed, and I did my OPT.
Right.
And I self-petitioned for EB2.
Okay, great.
So and it got approved. But
you got approved EB2
for my I-140
national interest waiver.
Yes, sir.
Oh, congratulations. And you did it on your own.
Yes, I did.
That's very hard to do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Where the issue now is because I submitted the petition, I thought it covers me. I didn't file for adjustment of status, and trying to adjust my status now, and I saw, well, I was reading online, I saw that I have unlawful presence because my EAD expired 2020, July.
How did you have an EAD?
My OPT expired 2020 because that was when my work authorization expired, and my
Did you renew your OPT?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you extend your OPT in science, technology,
I didn't.
engineering?
No,
You did
I
not.
didn't.
So now you're out
No,
of
I
status.
didn't.
So here I am congratulating you on a great job, and then you fell out of status.
So what options do I have?
You don't have options now because if you go home, you have a 10-year bar.
So what's the best thing to do?
Try to reinstate your student status.
Can it be reinstated after 2 years?
Could try. Hold on 1 second. That would be my only suggestion. You can reinstate student status, get back into student status program, and then adjust. That would be my only suggestion. But you're going to need a lawyer.
Can you help me to reinstate my student status?
I can try. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Please, okay.
Okay.
Sure. Please.
All right. Let's go to Patrick in Baltimore, Maryland. Patrick.
Hey, Uncle Brad. Good
How
evening.
are you?
I'm good. So I have two questions.
Yes.
The first one. So I came here in 2017. I'm a conditional green card holder.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 2-year green card, and then that was expired. I got an 18-month extension, and then that extension was expired. So first, I was divorced in 2018 because of abused spouse and stuff like that. So I was divorced in 2018. I got like 2 more extensions, 2 stamped in my passport.
Mm-hmm.
This one will expire next February. Now I filed for my son. I just got his I-130 approved.
Good.
Case registered.
But you still have never removed the conditions of your residence after like 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is.
I did.
Oh, you
so
did?
I got an 18-month
Yeah, but you never got the 10-year card.
No.
Right. So I said you've now been a resident for 4 or 5 years. You never removed those conditions. You don't have a 10-year card. And
Right.
you're doing this all based on abuse?
Yes.
Did you ever divorce your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
She divorced me. She divorced me in 2018.
Do you you went for an interview?
No. The last thing I did was my fingerprint, my biometric.
Sounds like you've been a resident for more than 5 years, right?
Yes, because I've been here since August 2017.
Okay. So June, July. Okay. In June, 90 days before your 5-year anniversary, file your citizenship. Everything will go very fast. Even though you never removed the conditions. Yes.
Even though I divorced since 2018.
Yes.
And I filed the I-1 and I filed the I-75.
Yes. But you basing it on 5 years of having a green card.
Right.
You need help. Hold on.
So
everybody needs help today. It's amazing.
So I have another question before you go, though.
Yeah.
So for my son, I-130 is approved. Will he still able to get here for me waiting on the interview?
Yes.
Will he get a 10-year or will he get a condition like
10-year.
the condition that I got?
10-year.
10-year. Okay.
Now, hold on.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Charity in Houston, Texas. Charity. Charity going once.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question. My brother, he was deported in 2002, and you had made one of your little short reels about if both parents were citizens, and that they could come back. If both parents were citizens, could they come back, or could they become citizens, or something like that?
Okay, so all right. So what you're saying is your brother got deported, but he had a green card, and both of his mother and father were citizens before he was 18?
Yes.
Okay, then they deported a U.S. citizen.
Okay. So how do I get him back?
Where is he now?
He's in Ghana.
Okay.
West Africa.
So what we do is we prepare an application for a U.S. passport, and he will walk in to the embassy in Ghana with proof that he had a green card before he was 18. with proof that his
Okay.
mother was a citizen before he was 18 and proof that his father was a citizen before he was 18. And with all of that, they will give him a U.S. passport. He will return to the United States, and then we'll write the Department of Homeland the DHS that you deported an American citizen and reopen his deportation case, and it's void because was never a resident.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Thank you.
Now there could also be civil suit deporting U.S. citizen too, but we got to prove all of that for him to get the passport first. Shanique in Long Island.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm okay. So I have two questions. I have my friend here online who would like to ask.
How are you, friend?
Hello?
What's going on?
Not bad. I did have approval of I-130.
Yes.
I-130. But the I-130 was withdrawn because I was abused by my spouse. I was wondering what step I can take.
When did this happen?
Hello?
When did this happen?
About 4 months ago.
Okay. So you're not divorced from your spouse, are you?
No.
Okay. So your spouse was a resident or a citizen?
Citizen.
Okay. What you would be doing, what was the abuse? Physical abuse or emotional abuse?
Emotion.
Okay. So what you would do is you would file a VAWA case, forget the I-130, forget whatever she did. You're going to file an I-360, which is the VAWA petition, and you're going to file a new adjustment application, and you're going to prove three things. One, she emotionally abused you on a daily, regular basis. Two,
you're
a person of good moral character. Three, it was a real marriage. Prove those three things, you get a green card. In the meantime, you'll get a work permit and a travel document. So hold on one second, okay?
No,
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm not in America now. I'm in Jamaica.
You're in Jamaica now?
Yes.
Okay. So then you're going to file just the I-360. So you're going to file an abuse case from outside of the United States of America, get it approved, and then process for your green card at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay.
All right, hold on. All right. I thought he was here because it said Shanique in Long Island. I'm going to tell you something. I'm very full from meat and potatoes tonight. This meat and potatoes was extraordinarily filling tonight.
It was.
I am full.
It was a lot going on.
A lot going on with this meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered in our meat and potatoes, you can always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You can drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your immigration question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You don't like 2 hours of meat and potatoes and schmoozing, but you like 30 seconds of it? Just a little portion of it? Follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. And also follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. You could leave your questions in the comments or in the question and answer section, and you may be very lucky enough for me to answer your legal question in a video directed right at you, personalized at you, for the entire world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Kitti Murray, founder of Refuge Coffee Co, and one of her employees, Somoyyah Masqudi. The company is located in Clarkston, Georgia, which is a United Nations refugee destination city, often referred to as the most diverse square mile in America, and trains and employs refugees and immigrants who live there.
And now it's time for another edition of What's Your Immigration Story, Comic-Con NYC style. Enjoy and let us know your immigration background in the comments, squad.
My parents actually grew up in Cuba, and they, experienced poverty, they experienced lack of democracy and right to express themselves, and, they left for a better life. I was actually born in Spain and then grew up in Florida, and I got to really see what it is, the struggle of being an immigrant, and seeing us, a family struggling as an immigrant family has really shaped why I'm an activist and why I fight. I fight because I don't want anyone to have to go through the struggle just to be a normal person. Everyone is human. Everyone deserves the same rights, the same opportunity to dream, to hope, to be happy, to have a family. It's something that is so important.
I'm half Puerto Rican and half Japanese. My great-grandfather was in the concentration camps here. Being a Puerto Rican as well, I mean, yes, we're American, but we're going through a lot of stuff right now. And I feel like they're not represented as much and that they need to be or protected by the government.
A bunch of different things mixed. I look up to my grandmothers a lot because I'm first generation American. So them coming here and my parents coming here, you learn a lot from just what they grew up on and the things they dealt with compared to us here, where my generation, I would say, we have it pretty easy compared to them.
My dad's from Ireland and my mom is from Peru.
I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Persian, I'm black. And so I'm from everywhere. My parents met in Germany. As far as me, I'm native to America, but my story reaches back really, really far.
I am from Mexico City. I came to America 10 years ago. I have been here with different visas. I got my master's degree in fine arts of filmmaking at the New York Film Academy. So I got a student visa, then I got an OPT visa, then I had my B1, B2 visa, and right now I'm applying for a green card.
Well, I'm Puerto Rican from New York City. My dad was born in Puerto Rico and my mom was raised in New York City in Harlem. Harlem, what's up? By being a Puerto Rican, that's a whole big culture of passion, food. It just feels great to see like anime and see Comic Cons bring all our cultures together.
All right, let's do social media check-in, Yo-Yo. Let's see what we got.
All right, Liana Brown, Facebook VIP member. Is a divorce decree and a divorce certificate the same? How can I use the divorce decree on my immigration case as it's 12 pages long? Can I use the front page only?
Just copy all 12, but a divorce decree and a divorce certificate should, I guess it's synonymous with one another. It's what you need to show on your immigration is the document where the judge orders you divorced.
29 Super C on YouTube. Can one track when one would receive their green card after they get their EW3 visa stamp upon arrival to the U.S.?
They should be following up by email with you, immigration.
Ajongako Stephanam on YouTube. I'm from Cameroon and I have a pending asylum case. If I file for TPS, can I travel outside of the U.S.?
Yes, you can get advanced parole.
Wilfredo Diaz on YouTube. If I'm in removal but I have a juvenile visa approved, how long will it take for I-485 after the master hearing?
Hopefully a year.
Shan for life.
Yes.
AKA Squad for Life on YouTube.
New.
Yes, new. I have a pending I-751 case to remove restrictions on my green card. How can a domestic violence charge impact my case? My spouse has pressed charges against me.
If you're found guilty of domestic violence, it's deportable.
Michelle Gordon Walker on YouTube. I'm a citizen. My stepson was on my husband's I-130 form and I didn't do his separately. How can I correct it going forward? Because I want to get him over here. I married his father.
He has to file a separate I-130 for the son.
Okay. Are the estimated, this is, I think, Daryl Winneba. Are the estimated processing times for I-539 on the USCIS website functioning? Because there are processing cases in 2020 and I have a pending application that was filed in September 2021. What's your take?
I hope it's not correct. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amir on Facebook. My wife is a U.S. citizen. She filed for I-130 in May 2021. Up till now, I have no answer. How long does it take to get an interview? I'm suffering and stressed. I've never seen my daughter since she was born in July.
Well, it should take about a year to get the I-130 approved. If it hasn't been approved within 1 year of filing, perhaps you want to request an expedite.
Tony Wea on Facebook. I filed my marriage-based I-485 on April 11th, 2022. A few days later, I got a notice stating that my previous biometric for a denied asylum case has been used, and it shows on the USCIS status check. I received mail today scheduling my biometrics for next month. What should I do? Is it a problem?
Go.
Jackie.
Go to the biometrics.
Okay.
They schedule you, go.
Jackie Dungal Stewart on Facebook. My sister went to her interview for citizenship and she was told something about quality review. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
And last one, Natasha Gordon on YouTube. My husband filed for an I-130 form for his stepson last July. We've not heard from USCIS. The child is under 18 in Jamaica. How long will it take to approve?
Donkey years. I've said it.
Yes.
Donkey years.
Yes.
Clarkston, Georgia, located right outside Atlanta with a population of over 12,000, is the United Nations refugee destination city, is often referred to as the most diverse square mile in America, and the Ellis Island of the South. One resident, Kitti Murray, has embraced her city's ethnic diversity by creating Refuge Coffee Company, which serves coffee and specialty drinks and is staffed and run by refugee and immigrant employees. Kitti and one of her baristas, Somoyyah Masqudi, join me to talk about this incredible business model. Let's watch. One woman's love of good coffee, diversity, and bringing people together has turned into a booming nonprofit business in Clarkston, Georgia, which happens to be a United Nations refugee destination city. The Refuge Coffee Company serves delicious coffee and specialty drinks to customers while employing a refugee work staff. The company's employees are provided with valuable job and life training skills. In return, they teach the customers about the different cultural backgrounds that make up this unique and vibrant staff. Joining me is Refuge Coffee Company founder and CEO, Kitti Murray, and one of her employees, Somoyyah Masqudi, who is originally from Afghanistan. Welcome, ladies, and thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So, Kitti, you bought a truck a few years ago, and you started serving coffee. What gave you the idea to buy this truck and then hire only refugees, which I believe is what you do, and then also turn this truck into a nonprofit?
Well, to start with, my husband and I live just 3 blocks down the road here in Clarkston. So we're in the community and we haven't been here that long. So we bought the truck. A minor correction, I didn't buy it. Because we're a nonprofit, we raised money to buy it.
What brought you to Clarkston, Georgia in the first place, you and your husband?
We were living in the city. We were ready to buy our last house. You know, we didn't have any illusions that we were going to swoop in and like be superheroes or anything like that. But we just wanted to live somewhere where our whole neighborhood didn't look just like us, you know, and where we could interact with the community. And so we have friends who bought a real estate development here and had some houses, and we bought one of their houses and just moved in.
So you were aware when you moved to Clarkston, you were under no surprise that this was a very diverse immigrant city or town.
Yeah. We had actually volunteered with one of the resettlement agencies, you know, to help get a family acclimated a few years before. And so we had a few relationships here.
I understand there's 13,000 people who live there. Do you know what percentage is refugees?
I know that more than half are foreign born. And of those, I would say a good majority are either resettled refugees or immigrants who've come from all over the world. 65 languages here, I think, spoken.
This is a ethnically mixed community that talks and deals with each other on a regular basis.
Yes, that's the beauty of the community. You know, there's so many different places and you can learn about cultures. And then it's also a community of survivors, people who've been through a lot, everybody. To me, it's a community of heroes and normal humans, but who also have been through something that kind of gives them a heroic approach to life.
Do people sit outside of your coffee truck?
Our whole thing was, you know, we didn't want it to be, you know, where white hipsters hung out to get good coffee and that was it, you know, but it was just in a unique environment. We wanted it to draw the entire community, and that's a challenge because we wanted there to be like that cross hatch of cultures and people, including, you know, garden variety Americans. When we started, we had one truck and we rented the front half of a parking lot, and there was an old gas station, really old gas station. If I can show you, we're inside it right now. And we parked the truck up there 2 days a week. We painted a sunflower on the asphalt to be the patio. We set up tables and chairs and tents. And so over time, it became kind of a fun gathering place. We're not here to promote any political agenda, any religious agenda, any of that. We just started gathering people, and we would do events and draw people. And then eventually we were able to buy another truck, and then we were able to buy the old gas station. So, we just kind of slowly taken over this little corner, and it's right in the center of Clarkston. I just think it's a place for people to find out who those people are and who our neighbors are, like Somoyyah.
You're a self-professed, I guess, soccer mom before you got into this, I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Other than making coffee for the other soccer moms, how'd you learn all about coffee that you can go and say, okay, I'm going to now serve coffee and we're going to become experts in coffee?
I cashed in on free 1-hour consultations with everybody I could think of. Attorneys, business people, restaurant owners, and then coffee people. So I eventually found a guy who owns a couple of coffee shops who agreed to consult with me. And then he introduced me to a guy named Caleb Goodrum, who became our full-time support staff member. And we raised enough money to pay him so he could make sure we did coffee really well.
So, Somoyyah, now you're originally from Afghanistan, right?
Right.
And so tell me how you got from Afghanistan to Clarkston, Georgia.
I actually was born in Iran. My family actually also grew up in Iran. So I never kind of lived in Afghanistan. I went back to Afghanistan when I was 10 years old with my family. And then we stayed there for 2.5 months. I got here in 2016.
And you came with your family or you came alone?
Oh, with my family. So in Iran, my grandparents, they flew to Iran 50 years ago. And my other 3 sisters, we were born in Iran. So I was there until 18 years old. So we were all as a refugee the whole life. So for 18 years, I was a refugee. My family, they were refugee for about more than 35 years. So we kind of wanted to move in a country that we can have basic human rights and not be a refugee anymore. We had to go to a country that we can say that we need a citizen, so they can send our cases, our problems to the countries like America that they accept refugee. So the closest country to us was registered by United Nations, UNHCR. We kind of said that what our problem was, why we moved, and why we want to go to other country. And then what United Nations is doing, they send these cases to America, and then one of these countries will accept us, which in 2016, America accepted us and we got here.
How do you find refugees to come work on your food truck?
We have a process, but usually what happens is it's word of mouth, because this community, 13,000 people are in 1.4 square miles. So it's a pretty densely populated city, and there are 5 resettlement agencies that work here, and then a lot of other nonprofits who do great work, and we know a lot of those people. And so we'll just kind of put the word out and say, we need somebody. When we first started, it was all word of mouth, just people we knew in the community. And now we actually get applications, and we have a little more of a process.
Do you have to be a refugee?
You have to be an immigrant,
You have to be an
because
immigrant.
some people are here through other immigration processes.
Are you looking for people who have qualified skills?
If we were to boil down what we do into one phrase, it would be that we're in the business of welcome. So everything we do, we kind of run through a sieve of, does that say welcome to the rest of the world? If we do this event, or if we say this on social media, are we saying welcome? And so when we hire our trainees, we tell them right away, that's what we're doing. We're welcoming people, and we are welcoming you, yes, but you're a part of the business of welcome. And so in one of their first training sessions, I always give them a welcome mat, and just say, here, this is your job. It's a full-time living wage, 1-year job. So that's 35, 40 hours a week. But of that 40 hours, 2 to 3 are spent in a classroom with our job trainer. And that classroom time is really valuable. It's really a great part of it. So it's on the job training, but it's also that classroom time. And the classroom time has some English training, although we outsource some of that. We do a lot of preparation for the citizenship test, even though, you have to wait some time before you could take that. We have even just kind of a life plan sessions to learn how to plan for dreams, because most refugees don't have the luxury of dreaming about the future. And that's been a really fun part of the process, to say, no, you live in a place now where you can dream about your future. We're going to open doors as much as we can and kind of, give you whatever we've got to encourage you in the process.
Now, how many people do you employ?
We have a staff of 14, 7 trainees. Then the 7 support staff, 4 of us are full-time. I'm one of those. 2 of those full-time employees are refugees who were former trainees.
Tell me about some of these people.
So Leon Shambana is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was our very first trainee, so he always calls himself the firstborn of Refuge. He is like a stern father who's also super loving and fun. He started with us. He's amazing. And so about the time his 1 year was up was when we moved into this space and we were going to be open more, and we just needed someone to manage it. And he was like the perfect fit. Our other person on our support staff is Ahmed Al-Zukaini. Ahmed is from Syria, from Damascus. He was a pharmacist in Syria. When he came, he had only been here a few weeks, and he could barely speak English. He's increased our catering business in the last 6 months by 50%. So he has really grown our business. Our hope is, we'd love to keep everybody. I don't want Somoyyah to go away, but we also want them to fulfill whatever their dreams are. So Somoyyah will be starting college, and I think she would make a great lawyer. But anyway, so she's looking into ways to kind of give back to her home country. So everybody has a different path. It's definitely not a cookie cutter training.
Tell me what your dreams are, your American dreams for the future.
So the dream is, to help the women of my country to get their freedom and rights. So what happened is I saw a lot of people, a lot of Afghan women that they came from Afghanistan, but they're living here, but they don't have a lot of freedom. They don't have rights. At their home, they cannot, talk to everyone, to whoever they want. They cannot go out whenever they want. So my dream is kind of to teach the men of Afghanistan to learn about it, that the women are also human. They have to have the rights too.
You have this truck. You certainly have given an opportunity to refugees and given them an opportunity that they otherwise may never have had. Have you seen people come together?
Yes. We always say we don't do what we do for the refugee community. We do it with the refugee community. Somoyyah has already brought so much value to our community, and she's such a good role model for a lot of young women here. And she's the oldest in her family that's here. And so she was the provider at the beginning. National rhetoric today is pretty polarized, but what we experience here is the opposite of polarization. And one thing we started to observe early on is that when trainees left us, that they didn't just leave with whatever training we were able to give them, but what they leave with is this network of friends. And friends from other refugee friends from other countries, and then American friends. So that has been a really neat thing. And not only are they equally human and valuable, they have so much to offer. And, their eyes are open, and it moves the needle, that ability to see other people not as other anymore.
You see that even in our politics today, even people who are anti-immigrant say, kick all the immigrants out, except this person who I know, who I work with. There's my friend. He's lovely. And tell me what your American dreams are for the future.
Martin Luther King Jr. said that he believed unconditional love and justice, but some word that means not coerced justice, but real justice could win the day. That's what I hope for.
How do I find your truck? Where are we located?
The best way is our website. It's refuge.coffee. The shop is easy to find. Look on Yelp, look on anything, just for Refuge Coffee, and you can find us in Atlanta. On social media, we're Refuge Coffee Co, C-O, so Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Our goal is to be easy to find.
All right, good. It's an amazing idea, and I loved hearing about it. Kitti Murray and Somoyyah Masqudi, thank you very much for joining us today. Good luck on the continued success. Somoyyah, good luck on your continued success in college and university, and maybe we'll see you in the courtroom one day.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And I'd spoken with Kitti and Somoyyah, Yo-Yo, a couple of years ago, but this week they were on the Kelly Clarkston show, Refuge Coffee Company. So we congratulate them on their continued success.
That's awesome.
And we congratulate our crew for getting them here first.
That part.
Yeah, Kelly, a little late, huh?
Just a little late.
We had them first.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? 10 questions, 50 seconds. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right, ready? Let's do it.
Yep. I'm a U.S. citizen. Which form can I file for my parents?
I-130.
How long does it take to get a tourist visa, DS-160?
As quickly as the embassy schedules you for the appointment.
My VAWA was approved. How long for USCIS to process my adjustment?
About a year.
I received my VAWA receipt after 2 months of filing. What's next?
Prima facie determination.
Can you be denied a CR1 petition as a petitioner for allegations?
Not unless you're a sexual predator.
I'm married to a U.S. citizen with 3 children. Is the 90-day rule possible?
It's still possible.
Do I have to explain to USCIS why I'm withdrawing my asylum?
No.
What age can your child file for you?
21.
What does your parent have to provide when doing 601A waiver?
Proof that there would be extreme unusual hardship to the parent.
What can I do if I lose my green card while abroad?
Go to the U.S. Embassy and get a replacement.
There we go. There we go. Cool.
And I don't usually dance.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
That was like 5 seconds to go. Woo. 3 seconds to go.
Oh man. That was scary. That was scary.
Now, the U.S. Embassy's got to need a replacement. They'll put a stamp on your passport to allow you to come back, which is the same thing.
There we go.
All right, comments of the day, Yo-Yo.
Let's
comments
do
of the day.
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day comes from Wilma Jean Gibson saying, I sure do like watching you two good-looking guys.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's the best compliment I got all day.
Right.
Yeah. Magic 8 Ball, are we two good-looking guys? And it says, 1 second, I can't even see. Outlook is looking good.
Hey!
Yeah! All right.
I knew I liked that Magic 8 Ball.
Even agrees with that.
Absolutely. All right, our second comment of the day comes from Danny Boy 954 saying, Brad, question, you want some Jamaican mangoes?
Magic 8 Ball, do I want some Jamaican mangoes today? Danny Boy wants to know. And it says, it is certain I want Jamaican mangoes. The Magic 8 Ball, 2 for 2.
That's hilarious. All right.
And the last comment.
We have 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
2 more. And then we got Burrell Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, saying I'm feeling sick today, but I would not miss the show for the world. Sipping on some mint tea.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, yeah. We hope you feel better.
Feel better.
I did type that in earlier.
Okay.
And our last comment of the day. Jessica Leamy saying Brad is full on meat and potatoes, so no Oreos for him tonight.
That is for sure. No Oreos, no ice cream.
No, nada.
I'm done.
Done.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I'll be ready for some more meat and potatoes on Monday. See you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.